Well, I just got home from seeing The Black Phone 2, which is the sequel to the 2022 movie, The Black Phone. So, this movie takes place 4 years after the events of The Black Phone, the first movie. And it's basically the main character, Finney, now grown up, and he's still kind of like trying to get over after what happened in the first movie. If you haven't seen that one, that was him getting kidnapped by a character called the Grabber, and the Grabber was kind of like someone who was kidnapping kids and then murdering them. So in this one, it's mainly his. It mainly has to do more with his sister, played by Madeline McGraw, who because like in the first movie, she was having kind of like visions, kind of like predicting, like she kind of like psychic in a way. And in this one, she's kind of like having these like visions of like these three boys that went missing, and it's her trying to get into the bottom of these visions of what's going on. Um, you know, the Black Phone, the first Black Phone was absolutely amazing. I thought that movie was really well done. Probably one of my favorite movies of 2022. And it was one of those movies where, I've been following Madeline McGraw on Instagram for quite some time because I thought like her character was so cool, and she did a really good job in that movie, and this one too. Some of the lines, the funny lines that she said, you dumb fucking fart knockers. That line was so freaking funny to me. Um, I thought it was a really well done movie. Like I said, I've been following Madeline McGraw for quite some time on Instagram, and I remember like a lot of people were like asking her like Black Phone 2, Black Phone 2, Black Phone 2, and I'm thinking, guys, nothing else happened in the first movie, so I don't. They can't do a second one. If you haven't, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen that one. And then there was the announcement for the Black Phone 2. I was kind of shocked. Because I was really curious as well, because nothing else really happened in the first one, so I didn't know exactly what they were doing or what they were going to do in this new one. Because I know the reviews were actually pretty good. They were bigger than the first movie, and a lot of the reviews were saying it was better than the first one. I'm like, okay, yeah. Either way, even though if it wasn't, I was going to go see it anyway, just to see what they did exactly. There were some sequences I liked. This movie kind of like had a vibe or like a feel to like some of the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Like there was like a scene where like Madeline McGraw's character like she was getting attacked by the Grabber like while um like sleepwalking like in like a dream, like in like a dream sort of like sequence. It kind of like how like Freddy Krueger would do in like the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. It kind of like it had like a Freddy Krueger vibe in 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 this movie, and some of the lines that Ethan Hawke said, it kind of like sounded a little bit like Freddy Krueger-ish. Some of the lines that he said kind of sounded like he that Freddy Krueger would say in the movies. So I don't know if that's what they were trying to do, kind of like basically turn it into like a Nightmare on Elm Street knockoff, because it kind of like had that vibe in a way. Um, that some of those sequences were kind of cool. Um, but was a sequel really necessary? Probably not. It was probably most likely, it just came out for, of course, money. On a scale 1 to 10, this one's a pretty difficult one. I don't know what I'm gonna give. I don't know what I'm gonna rate this movie. I probably won't give it a rating because really it's just kind of like one of those kind of like cash and grab kind of like movies, if you know what I'm saying. But I did enjoy it. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't terrible, but it was just like really is this necessary? It was kind of like one of those ones. But I love the first movie. The first one was pretty good. So it's definitely kind of like one of those ones where I'm probably not going to be in the rush to grab on Blu-ray. I might, maybe at some point when it like the price gets lower, or or if I find it at like Goodwill or something. But it's just like one of those ones where I don't know. Probably will not watch again. I don't know. We'll see in the future. We'll see. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the first one's better or the second one? I consider the first one better. But thanks for watching.